Last year we got a new number one for Batman, which was the first time that happened in a while, and that only has happened a handful of times. DC isn't the same as Marvel; they're not constantly rebooting with new number ones, especially with Batman. So it's kind of a big deal. This was with Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. Now we are 7 issues in, and I wanted to talk about what's currently going on in the mainline Batman book and what I think about it. Now, issue 1 I already covered when that first came out, so if you want to know about that, you can check that video out. So for this, I'll be talking about issues 2 through 7 and giving my thoughts on it. So I'm actually really enjoying it as of late, starting with issue 5. Issue 5, 6, and 7 have been great. Issues 1 through 4 weren't really my cup of tea. Issue 2 especially was pretty bad, and I'll get into why. But as of late, it's been good. Of course, throughout, the art has been incredible. It's Jorge Jimenez. The guy does not miss. He is one of the best in the industry right now for a reason. He's so good. Now, there are a few sort of status quo changes and things that they've tried to make regulars in these issues that I just want to talk about real quick before we get into each issue. So, there's a new character called Annika Zeller. She is in charge of Arkham Towers. That's the new state that Arkham is in. It's not Arkham Asylum anymore. There's these towers in Gotham that she's running, and she's got a whole new thing she's doing. She's a big part of this series so far. Bruce hallucinates Alfred now. So Alfred died back in Tom King's run a long time ago, and they have not brought him back yet. When he first showed up in issue 1, I thought he was some sort of AI that Bruce had made that he could talk to, but after that, it seems like he just hallucinates him. So that's what it feels like. There's a big focus on gadgets in this run so far. Every time a gadget is used, there's like a little info box that tells you what it is and what it does and exactly how it works. It's I wouldn't really say it's a positive or negative for me. It's just kind of a whatever. Like I could do without it, but it's there and it doesn't bother me either. It's just kind of a okay, I guess this is something they're doing. There's these sick title cards for each issue that Jorge Jimenez does that I love. They're really cool. Vandal Savage is the GCPD commissioner. Jim Gordon is a beat cop, and Harvey Bullock is a private eye. And also, Tim and Damian are both Robin at this time because course, Tim Drake, they have no idea what to do with him ever. So he's back to being Robin during this run, and he's sharing it with Damian. But of course, he looks awesome because it's Jorge Jimenez drawing him. So at least there's that plus for Tim Drake fans. He looks cool in this run. Sadly, there's not much else to say positive about Tim in this run, sadly. So in issue 2, we see some criminals robbing a truck. They're robbing the truck. One guy goes to the back to go and get whatever's in the truck, and the other guy is holding the driver hostage. While the one guy's getting the goods from the back, he hears a bang, and then he looks and he sees that his partner in crime has murdered in stone cold blood the driver, just straight up executed him. And so then Tim shows up. Tim tries to subdue the guys, and then the cops also show up. And Tim is running, chasing after one of the guys that was running. And we see that, oh, this guy wasn't such a bad guy. He was just robbing this truck for baby formula because it's so expensive and he's trying to rob for baby formula. He's not that bad of a guy. I'll be honest, I'm kind of sick of so many criminals not being that bad of guys. And it's only like the real big time players that have been around for a while that are bad. I hate constantly seeing, it feels like a thing that's been going on for the past like 5 or so years where it's like you have these small criminals like this where it's like they're just stealing. They're just stealing because they're trying to get by. It's like, come on, dude. There are so many criminals that are doing bad things because they're bad people. Like I don't need this. Like, you need to feel bad for every bad guy. I don't care about that. But anyways, cop catches up to Tim and this criminal, and he says, he tells them move and I shoot. The criminal moves. He starts running, and so he gets gunned down by the cop in the back. Tim gets really mad and is like, you shot that guy. And I don't really get why Tim is mad because this guy is part of the crew that just executed an innocent driver because they wanted to steal what he was transporting. Who cares if it was baby formula or whatever it was? They killed the guy for this. Even if it wasn't this guy, if it was his partner, the cops have no way of knowing that. They don't know if this guy plans on going away and killing someone else. They have no idea right now. They just showed up. So I think this was kind of stupid. Nightwing did the same thing, as in the Nightwing title with Dan Waters. He did a thing where he was trying to show how corrupt the cops are in the in an issue, but he kind of made the corrupt cops justified, which was really stupid. So there's an issue where like a 15-year-old gang member starts shooting at some cops, and then he gets absolutely nuked by the cops because they have this like advanced weaponry. It was very funny actually, because like he shoots at the cop with like a 9 mil, and they just like nuke him. And they use like that gun from Gears of War where like the satellite shoots down from the sky. It was like that, and it's kind of crazy. But anyways, in that, it was like, why are we having the cop get shot at first? Why not have the cop be like, oh, I saw him reaching, and then kill him? Then it's like, oh, now I'm not on the cop side. Now I'm like, that cop was bad and he killed that guy when he clearly wasn't reaching, and he made an excuse to kill this guy. But no, the cop was justified for killing the kid because the kid shot at him first. Maybe a little overkill because of how much force he used, but still, he's justified to shoot at that kid. And in this, it's the same thing. This guy was told not to run by the cops or he will shoot, because he's already fleeing from a scene where someone got murdered and they don't know which of the two did it, but also he's part of the crew that did it either way. So the cops don't know if he's going to go and murder someone else. So it's like, why are you making the cop justified if you're trying? Because it's clear in this issue, like the entire rest of the time, the cop's like a piece of garbage. But it's like, Matt Fraction, it's so easy to make this cop like, Frank Miller did it for years, like making cops, making bad, dirty cops where you're like, yeah, fuck those guys, they suck. But for some reason, Matt Fraction's like, I'm siding with the dirty cop on this one. That guy should have gotten shot. Like, what are we doing? So that was pretty stupid, especially Tim getting all pissed about it. Was kind of like, what are you being so pissy about, dude? So after the cop shoots the fleeing suspect, Tim then throws down a smoke bomb and tries to get away, but he gets shot by the cop because this cop, I guess, is just a marksman or something. I thought this was kind of stupid too, because it's like Tim has been dodging gunfire forever, and it's never really a problem for Tim or, any of these vigilantes. But now all of a sudden, when it's just some random cop, he gets struck because they need it for plot convenience. I thought that was kind of stupid. So he gets handcuffed and thrown in the back of a vehicle where they're going to transport him to central booking, and he's handcuffed and dealing with a gunshot wound. And he's thrown into this vehicle that has a bunch of other criminals in there that they're transporting there, but none of the criminals are handcuffed, which is kind of weird and kind of stupid. Because it's like, you're telling me you got all those gangbangers in there, they just agreed to go in there and be like, yeah, we'll go to prison. You didn't have to handcuff him. That felt kind of stupid. But anyways, it's the whole thing where the cop's like trying to rough Tim up, and he's also trying to prove himself to Commissioner Vandal Savage to be like, us cops can get it done, because Vandal's trying to push to get like a private mercenary force to come in to handle things in Gotham, because of how Gotham is. But then Batman shows up. He lays some spikes down, so he stops the vehicle and he frees Tim. And then the cops confront Bruce or Batman and Tim, and Tim tells them about how they killed that guy, and Batman says that police brutality and murder puts them on the opposite sides, that they're not together, him and the cops. And it's like, all right, obviously the murder thing I get, but police brutality, it's like brutalizing criminals is kind of a bit ironic that Batman's against that. I mean, the first issue, he runs over some criminals with his car. So it's like, if the Batman's 101 is brutalizing criminals, so I would be like, yeah, but I'm like a super billionaire vigilante, so I can do it. You lowly cops aren't allowed to brutalize anyone. It's kind of ironic for that to come from Batman. So for him to have that line was kind of funny. But anyways, one of the cops sides with Bruce and Tim, and he's like, hey, they're on our side, dude. Put the gun down. And the dirty cop is like, no, I won't. And so then they shoot at each other, the two cops. Bruce and Tim get in the way, and they stop both of them. They take them both down. But Bruce is kind of an idiot. So he, when he takes down the cop, he then walks away, and he doesn't disarm him. He leaves the shotgun right next to him. So the cop picks up the shotgun and shoots Bruce in the back of the head, concussing him because, he's got his Kevlar cowl, so he's fine. But he's concussed. So now Tim has to drive the Batmobile. And there's a B plot in this issue of like a flashback where he was teaching Tim how to drive stick shift. And so they get in the Batmobile, so that's what this was all setting up. And this, we actually get the best moment of the issue that I really liked, which is when they get in the car. Tim's like, how many gears does this thing have? And Bruce is like, 13. And he explains all the gears, like, well, it's got like the normal 8, and then it's got 3 for like space temporal time, whatever, like craziness. He's like, and then it's got another one because I have the coolest car in the world. Now drive. It was actually a great moment. I really liked that. Uh, and then we see Vandal Savage show up to the scene later, and the one cop, the dirty cop, actually, he died. The other cop makes it, but we see that Vandal Savage is planting evidence. And at the end of next issue, or at the beginning of next issue, in issue 3, we see that a kid recorded on his phone Vandal Savage placing evidence that Batman was there and Batman caused the cop to die. So that way, again, he can push this agenda of having like mercenaries come in and do whatever he wants instead of having to deal with just your run of the mill Gotham cops. Tim is hospitalized because, he got shot, and he has to explain to Bernard why he's injured. If you've been in a coma for the past decade, you might not know who Bernard is. He is Tim's boyfriend because DC decided it was a good idea to make Tim bisexual. He's been with Bernard for a while, and unfortunately, ever since they did this, the only prevalent aspect of Tim Drake's character is that he is bisexual, because a character, if they are gay from the get-go, from when they're introduced, they can become more, and they are more, and there are other aspects to them other than their sexuality. But if their sexuality is changed partway through their history, then they are nothing but their sexuality. That is all they are defined by. It happens every single time. Alan Scott is a good example. Green Lantern, when they changed him in New 52 to a gay guy, every single time he is in a story after that, it's all, hey, did you know he's gay? Just like, and I'm currently enjoying JSA Year One from Jeff Lemire. It's pretty good, but even in that, they have to be like, "Hey, did you know Alan Scott's gay?" Because that's all there is to the guy now. It is unfortunate, and the same thing has happened to Tim Drake. It's like, "Hey, did you know Tim likes dick now? Not Dick Grayson, penis." So that's something that's going on. So anyways, Bruce then comes to visit Tim, and he brings him flowers. And when he's there, Bernard confronts Bruce and kind of dresses him down a bit. He's like, how come every time you and Tim go on a little boys trip, he comes back all beat up? Thanks for the flowers, then walks off. This is very disrespectful and mean to Bruce. It's like, okay, I just can like the police brutalize Bernard? Could we have that happen? Okay, anyways, that's that part of the issue. Dr. Zeller, the lady that I talked about earlier, Annika Zeller, she is using this thing called the Crown of Storms, which zaps crazy people's brains to try to make them normal. It's supposed to, like, the part of your brain that makes you normal, that's like not getting electricity, that then makes you crazy. This is supposed to sort of like reactivate it or something, and that's what she's working on. Well, anyways, Riddler tries to steal it, tries to steal the Crown of Storms. Batman stops him, and then through this, he learns that Zeller has been experimenting on Arkham inmates with the Crown of Storms because it's in the experimental phase right now, and I guess it's not public that's happening, but that's what Riddler reveals. So Bruce then, because he's funding this, like they received a big grant from Arkham Towers. Dr. Zeller received a big grant from the Wayne Foundation, from Wayne Enterprises to do their research. So he goes and he sets up a sort of date with her. He's like, tomorrow at 7, let's talk, because he's trying to get to the bottom of what's going on here. Bruce goes out as Batman, and he finds Anarchy, beats him up, and interrogates him because, he doesn't brutalize anyone. He's against brutality. But he beats up Anarchy and interrogates him and asks him what's going on currently in Gotham because things are kind of weird right now. And Anarchy tells him there's a new villain in town called the Minotaur. He's got all the criminals in Gotham organized. And then we see the Minotaur throughout the issue, and he's just this fancy guy that's sort of a banker for all of Gotham's criminals. He talks about how there's 7 parts to this criminal underworld, and he's got everything going, and he's doing real good, and he's going to make profits for everyone if everyone can get in control. But then he brings, for like the 7 heads there, he brings like family members and people they care about, executes them in front of them to get them in line to be like, hey, this is my place, because he doesn't like what's been going on recently, especially with the botched robbery that caused all this drama recently. That truck robbery that I talked about earlier. He wasn't a fan of that. And this character, we haven't gotten a whole lot of him yet, but so far he feels kind of like Fraction just combined 2 characters that Tynan created during his run, which were the Designer and the Underbroker, if you remember those guys. Because Tynan was creating like a character and issue during his run to be like, hopefully one of these guys gets used in adaptation and I get paid. That's what it felt like. Anyways, the Designer was just like a guy that had a plan for everything that's been around for a while. And the Underbroker was a broker, a banker for like the criminals in Gotham. It's like this Minotaur feels like just a combination of those two. So don't really care for this guy so far. Doesn't seem too interesting to me. Then we get issue 5, and this is the issue that won me over. This is where I've actually been really enjoying this series. This is the date issue. Bruce goes to pick up Zeller, and it's supposed to be sort of a professional meeting, but Bruce shows up with a gift, and he's all dressed up, and she's all dressed up in like a skirt and heels, and so they're flirting the whole time. They're like, "Is this a date?" And like, they're, "Oh, it's not a date," blah, blah, blah. And they're Bruce is charming and confident, and she's cute, and they're flirting, and it's a really nice. But when they're driving off, some like motorcycle ninjas come after them, and Bruce quickly realizes that and is like, Dr. Zeller, those guys are here to kill you. There's probably a bounty on your head because of the work you're doing right now. Some people don't like it. We saw in an earlier issue on like daytime TV, she was arguing with Doctor Strange about, not Doctor Strange from Marvel, but you know who I'm talking about, Hugo Strange. She's arguing with Hugo Strange because, you know, he has different methods when dealing with the criminally insane than she does, and he doesn't like her methods. And so we see that people don't like her work, and so these people are coming to kill them. So Bruce has to do some stunt driving to get out of there, get there safe. They end up crashing. Then some lady like made of birds with a sword comes up. Bruce has to try to fight her. He throws Dr. Zeller in a dumpster so he can try to fight her, but then it turns out that the two are on different sides, the motorcycle ninjas and the bird sword lady. And so they sort of have a spat, which allows Bruce and Zeller to get away. Then they climb to the top of this roof, and the bird lady goes back there, and Bruce is prepared to fight her again. But then Damian shows up, and he takes out bird lady instantly. He's like, "Yeah, I zapped her real good, Dad." And then Dr. Zeller comes out of the shadows like, "Dad," and it's like, whoa, this is the big drama. That was the only part of the issue that I thought was kind of a little stupid. I really enjoyed the issue overall. It's great. Of course, Jorge Jimenez does a fantastic job drawing all the action, the car chase, and everything. It's really cool, and I love the relationship between Bruce and Dr. Zeller and their like little flirty dialogue. I love it. I think it's great. The ending part is just kind of like, I feel like Damian wouldn't be so careless. Like, he would already know that his dad is going out with this girl and that she's going to be there, and he was assuming he was monitoring them, and that's how he knew to step in there. So he knew she was there. He wouldn't be as careless to be like, "Dad," straight out in the open. So that felt a little stupid, but I can forgive it. It wasn't that big of a deal. And then at the start of the next issue, we see that she doesn't put two and two together and realize Bruce is Batman. She's just kind of like, "Listen, I don't care about your parenting thing. I mean, no one else is gonna know. It's just me, you, and the kid. And if the kid tells Batman, who cares?" And that's kind of it. So she just thinks that Bruce just lets his son go be Robin. She doesn't think that Bruce is Batman. After that, Bruce goes home and he finds Damian therapeutically hitting the heavy bag, and Damian's like, "Don't even start. I know, Dad, I know." And Bruce tells him, "No, son, you don't know. Believe it or not, in fact, science has yet to conceive of a device so sophisticated as to calculate the massive sum of things that you don't know." And I really like that. And he tells him to smarten up before you get someone killed. So I like that little moment between Bruce and Damian, because he's a little pissed at his son for almost blowing his secret identity in front of Dr. Zeller. That wouldn't be good. Tim has recovered from his gunshot wound and visits Bruce in the Batcave, and he tells him that he's done being Robin, that he loves Bernard too much and can't keep lying to him. Bruce is happy for him and understands, is like, you know, what's the point of fighting for all this if we can't go on and live these happy lives? So he's excited for him and he's happy for him. Damian doesn't take it so well. Tim goes to tell Damian that he's quitting, and Damian calls him a quitter, and Tim tells him, like, he's like, the world is so much better than the Batcave, and I hope you figure that out someday. This part I didn't like, because if you've been reading Batman and Robin from Philip Kennedy Johnson, which you should be reading, it was the best Batman book out right now. Yes, I like it better than this Batman book. I like it better than Absolute Batman. It's incredible. Sadly, it's ending because or I think it just ended, actually. I believe that last issue was the last issue we're going to have. It makes me sad, because Philip K. Johnson's exclusive at Marvel now, so the series ended. Sad, but it was great. Anyways, in that, Damian made huge strides in his character, the most growth he's made in years. Him and Bruce, their relationship has advanced a lot, and in that series, we see that Damian now volunteers at the hospital because he started Bruce gave him Thomas Wayne's journal, because he's like, "You know a lot about your grandfather, Ray Shuggle, but you don't know about my dad, your other grandfather." So he gives him that to try to connect to Thomas Wayne. He does, and he realizes he wants to be a better person. He wants to do more, and some things happen. Again, you should really read this series. And now he, like, part-time, he realizes there's more to being Robin. So part-time he volunteers at this hospital and helps out, and so Damian has advanced. He's not just, oh, there's only Robin and that's it. Even at one point he was even thinking about leaving Robin, and Batman was very upset about that. So it's like, we already had this with Damian. Why is he regressing to this? Like, oh, because Matt Fraction has no idea what happened in Philip Kennedy Johnson's series, and no one in editorial at DC, because comic book editorial as a whole is in the garbage. It's terrible. So no one's like, hey, this doesn't match up with where Damian's at right now. They're like, nope, we'll just keep that in. So kind of stupid there. But overall, I did enjoy issue 6. I still thought it was good. Just that little bit I thought was dumb. And then at the end of the issue, we get revealed that Zeller has Joker in some sort of back the tank in Arkham Tower. Now on to issue 7, which at the time of this recording is the latest issue out for this series. So issue 7 is just a big conversation between Batman and Joker, and I loved it. It's not like an action-packed issue. It's just Batman and Joker talking. So the issue opens up with with Joker in his sort of back to tank, and he gets a message out that he wants to talk to Batman. And so Batman shows up. Dr. Zeller's not happy about it. She's like, I didn't realize it was going to be you. I was so excited when he's going to have someone else to talk to other than his caretakers. But if I knew it was going to be you, I wasn't going to let him talk to you. And because she doesn't like Batman at all. She doesn't like his methods. She's very much, on the side of, let's try to fix these criminals. Beating them up won't do anything. And this part I thought was kind of dumb. She tells Batman, because they have this whole security set up there where it's like, if you walk on the green tiles, you can walk and you'll be safe. But if you step outside of them, you will be zapped to death, essentially. And this is to keep us safe and to keep him safe. And then she also tells Batman that she has like a kill switch, like a button she'll hit, where if she thinks that at any point Batman is intending harm on Joker, she'll press the button and it'll like suck all the like oxygen out of the room and all these it'll depressurize, and like Batman will die. And it's like, what, Batman doesn't kill. Like, there's one thing Batman doesn't kill. He's been around for a while, and you're going to kill him if he attempts to like hurt Joker in some way. That seemed really stupid. That just seemed really dumb. But also, seeing how some people in the real world think about violent criminals, it's like, I guess that's kind of accurate. There are some people where it's like, no, let that violent criminal alone. So it's like, all right, I guess. But that part was kind of dumb. Anyways, Batman goes in there and he talks to Joker. They have a little conversation. Joker's kind of like he's on text to speech because he's in the tank, and Batman sees that he's a fat fucking chud now because he's been in the tank, and so he hasn't been able to move, and so he doesn't burn all the calories that he used to. So he's just like this fat dude in the tank. And I believe Matt Fraction recently came out and explained it's like, this is post DC KO, so he got kind of messed up during KO, and so that's why he's in this tank now. And she's got the Crown of Storms on him to like mess with his brain to try to make him a bit more normal. Anyways, him and Bruce have a great conversation. I really like it a lot. I thought I was very interested in it. Bruce the whole time was like not buying it. He's like, oh, this is your new act. You're good and you can get out. And Joker tells him, no, I think that even if I do try to convince people to get out, do not let me out of this tank under any circumstances at all. Bruce even talks about, he's like, this place is compromised already. Joker was able to get a message out, so he already has people here. Dr. Zeller, you need to you need to find everyone and fire them. It's like, and even if you do find the guy that he wanted, if you do find the guy that was compromised, it's probably the guy Joker wanted you to, so you need to find everyone else as well. And Joker's like, oh, I'll tell you immediately who the guy was. It was this guy, and he gives a whole rundown on who the guy is and how everything happened. So that bit was interesting, but it comes down to the end where the whole time Dr. Zeller's on the other side of the glass, and she's like listening to them talk, and Joker tells her, he's like, Dr. Zeller, can you just mute for a bit so I can tell Batman this? There's something I gotta tell him that you can't hear. And she's like, fine, I'll mute. So she's like, yeah, 30 seconds. She mutes, and Joker tells him, he's like, hey, someone's trying to kill you, Batman. And Batman's like, yeah, it's Tuesday, dude. Someone's trying to kill me. It's Tuesday. I'm Batman. It's Gotham City. This is what happens. And then as he's walking away, Joker goes, no, someone's trying to kill you, Bruce. And so it's like, oh, Joker knows Batman's secret identity. So they're doing that bit again, which is, not something new, but it's interesting, and I liked it. I thought the issue was really good, considering it was just a conversation between Batman and Joker. I thought Fraction did it excellently, and Jorge Jimenez still found a way to make everything look great, even though it's just two dudes talking in a room. We get a really nice splash page during it, and I really enjoyed the issue. So, what is going on with Batman currently, and my thoughts on all this? again, the first half of the run I didn't think was very good. I was like, oh no, are we gonna get another bad Batman run? Because it's been a while. I didn't care for Tynan's run. We had like one arc from Joshua Williamson, which I enjoyed but wasn't great, and then he was off. He didn't really get a run. He got like one little arc, and then we got Zdarsky's run, which was terrible. I hated what he did. I quit that run, and then now we're here. Well, we have Hush also in between all that. Hush 2, which is its own weird little thing, which will conclude in 2037. So I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh no, are they wasting Jimenez's talents on another bad writer? Like, like he was wasted on Tynan's run, he was wasted on Zdarsky's run. It's like now he's gonna get wasted on this bad fraction run. But then issue 5 hit, and issue 6 and issue 7. It's like, oh, this is actually really good. I'm liking this a lot. So conclusion, I really like it, and I think you should be reading it. If you're not, I think it's pretty good right now. I'm really enjoying it. So if you have read it, I do want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you think of what's currently going on with Batman? I really want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This turned out to be a long ass video. I was not expecting to talk for this long, but got pretty long. Anyways, I had fun, hope you did too, and I'll see y'all later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.